Hey there, Misfits. Welcome to the channel if you're new, and of course, welcome back if you've been hanging out with me for a while. This is a channel Pages of Ascension. My name is Tia. This is going to be the Zodiac season guide for mutable signs. So if you're not familiar, mutable signs consist of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces. And if you are working on those specific houses that these particular signs rule, or you are one of these particular signs, whether you're sun, moon, or rising, this may actually resonate with you more so on your sun and rising sign, okay? So we're going to go ahead and dig in. I've already pre-shuffled and pulled your message cards just because it saves a little bit on the time. And now we're just going to go ahead and jump into this. So I've already said the prayer before turning on the camera. And I'm still debating as to whether or not I should make that a recurring thing where I actually do the prayer on camera versus off the camera. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, okay? So bear with me. This particular spread takes a little time to pull out as there are 7 cards that I am pulling because I'm looking for your tipping point, okay? So bear with me. Sorry, I know some things are a little off frame. So I hope everybody is doing okay. That this message, this video, comes to you as you're well. I hope everyone's out there staying healthy and practicing their social distancing. 1 more. Perfect. And you gave me 3. That is so rude, but they all came out together, so we are going to keep them. All right. So let's see what we got here. Move my tea out the way. Okay, so this is very interesting. So, for the record, I do not read these particular, this particular deck in reverse. These 2 cards came out for you when I attempted to do this reading yesterday. And you know how sometimes you sit down to do something and everything gets in your way, so it just means it's not meant to do it. So that was kind of my day yesterday. So that said, this is why this video is late. I was able to get the fixed signs done, but not anybody else. So let me go ahead and move these up here just so y'all can see them. There we go. Okay, so we're definitely in this closed off energy. This is the traditional 4 of Pentacles in tarot. Okay, it's the miser energy. So typically what I would say with this particular card, the 4 of Pentacles, is someone who's feeling very closed off. They're even being a little bit stingy, whether this is with emotions or this is with money. Given the fact that it's sitting next to a money card, specifically a money card that has to do with partnerships or groups, I'd say that this definitely has to do with money. I also feel like it's got something specific to do with your job. Now, I do recognize that a lot of people are losing their jobs or have lost their jobs, but not everybody. There are still people out there who are working. So just to give a disclaimer that those themes may still come up, okay? So I feel like what you are being told is that, number 1, to hold on to your money. And then number 2, to take a look at the group dynamic that you're in, because there may actually be some viewpoints that are being projected on you or being projected onto this group that are not necessarily true. And by doing so, it's actually disrupting the harmony of the group, which is your goal in this instance, okay? So it is looking like mutable signs, at least for some of you, there is going to be a lot of change that's coming to what you view as harmonious. It's going to be changes coming to your financial situation. It's going to be very intense. And I do feel like because you're in the process of this change, there's parts of you that are feeling a little stalled as in what to do in this scenario. So that said, let me go ahead and flip this over. Here we go, effort. So normally I flip this over first, but the messages were coming right through, so I went for it. And I know the lighting is like super bad. There we go. So effort is your theme for the 28-day period of Taurus season, okay? So yeah. In order for you to gain the success that you are seeking, in order for you to gain the harmony that you're seeking, so like your tipping point is harmony for this particular season. Like harmony is the goal. That's what you're seeking. Some type of balance. Okay, and peace, whether that's in your surroundings, in your work sphere, you know, pick what fits for you, okay? But in order for you to be successful in that, it does require effort on your part. I feel like this is what this is telling you. So if you're steadily staying in this miser energy of being closed off and not, you know, either sharing what you know or putting yourself out there in order to get, okay, so let me give you a scenario here. For example, this is someone, say there's someone who, you know, they're constantly trying to manifest a job. I want a job, I want a job, I want a job. And they do all their spells, they do all their rituals, you know, and they gather all these, you know, job announcements and whatnot, and then they sit on it. And then a month later, they're wondering why they still don't have a job. Well, the effort may have been put in to look for the job, but you didn't follow through with that by actually applying for any of those jobs. So how can you expect to get success for something you haven't put any effort into? Okay, so I feel like that's what it's primarily telling you. Don't project what you feel like is either... Don't project what you feel your understanding of success to be for someone else's, and of course vice versa. So there could be someone around you who is trying to, I would almost say, keep you caged, because their understanding and their belief of what success is different from what yours is. And realistically, the only definition of success that matters is your own. Okay, my love? Now, let's see here. Yeah, I do see major changes coming for you, though. It is going to be intense. These are going to come very quickly. So in that same sentence, if you've been like holding on to your money, but you've been doing and following the prompts that you've been guided to, I do feel like this change, when it comes in, is going to happen very quickly. It's going to be very intense. It's not going to be something that you see coming. And to some degree, at least initially, it's going to put you in a state of pause. So this is like hangman energy, okay? So this is hangman energy here. So let's go ahead and dig into our clarifiers really quick. Keep this kind of short. So I want to look a little bit more into the guidance card, the projections card, and then we'll look a little bit into this situation. I don't know how much is going to come out for this, just because the Wheel of Fortune is the card that came out. And when the Wheel of Fortune comes out, it's kind of similar to the High Priestess, in the nature that you know something's changing, but you don't necessarily know what it is that's changing. Okay? So yeah, there's definitely guides around you, angels around you, trying to direct you through this. So the visual that I'm seeing right now is like a labyrinth. Okay, and this period of time of everything that you've been going through, likely related to what's going on in the world right now, the Rona. It's like you've been walking through this labyrinth, trying to determine exactly how to get out of the labyrinth, how to get out of this box that you've managed to put yourself in somehow. I feel like this has to do with finances most specifically. And the thing is, you are actually being led by your spiritual team. I feel like yeah, you're being led by your spiritual team. You're being encouraged to listen to the voices of reason, or the voice of reason. So this is actually the ace, or would equivalent to the Ace of Swords in a traditional tarot card. And I see dragons as guardians, okay? Ultimately, though, my point is that the sword as a suit has to do with the mental sphere, and the Ace of Swords has to do with the truth. So there is some type of truth that they are trying to alert you to that you may not actually be picking up on quite as well as you think you are. You might be projecting your own views onto the message, and that may be skewing the message for you that's coming in. Okay, so let's look at projections real quick and see what's up with that. Yeah, the Hero. Okay, so some of you actually might have something of a hero complex, or even, as I call it, the Captain Save-A-Ho complex. And because you or someone you're dealing with has this complex, it's like they are... The projections card it's very similar to me as like the comparison card. It's seeing something that someone else is doing and then like projecting your dislike of what they are doing because you don't feel capable of doing it yourself. That's one scenario. Another scenario is like someone who's worked at a certain type of establishment, right? Let's just go retail, because retail's easy and that's what I know. So say like someone's had a lifelong, experience in retail. Okay, they've, been in it pretty far, but they've been in it for a long time, but they've never gotten very far in the retail. And then someone that they know happens to start going into retail, and they say, oh, well, that never goes anywhere. That's this person projecting their experience on you as an attempt to feel like they're saving you from something that's never going to go anywhere. But the thing is, it's your path. They don't know, or you for that matter, don't know what's outlined in spirit for this other person. So who are you to tell them that, oh, if you pursue this, it's not going to work for you because it didn't work for me? Okay, that's the projections card. So when I combine this with the hero complex, I don't know if that's you or if it's someone else. Like, please don't get offended by saying you. I'm specifically speaking to mutable signs. So, but it's a general reading, okay? So take it as it resonates for you, but I am going to say you to just keep it straightforward. So you having this hero complex of thinking that stepping into this person's, stepping into their path and feeling like you need to direct their path because they're just doing something that's never, ever, ever going to work for them, okay? That's not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is offering advice and saying like, hey, here's what I went through. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be your experience. However, if you find yourself coming into this type of experience, I'm offering my assistance and my experience to help you. I can give you some pointers based on what I have experienced on how you might could handle this situation, okay? It's a difference between wanting to actually go and play Captain Save-A-Ho versus playing a mentor to someone. There is a huge difference, but there is a fine line between those two, okay? So let's go ahead and look at this pile right here, because I want to know what kind of change we're dealing with here and why it's so intense and why it's got you hung up. It's possible that the change that it's referring to is a change that we have going on right now with, the Rona and how it's affecting the economy. And I say that just because you've got the miser here on the opposite end of this story here. The tipping point is harmony. So it's like, in order to gain this harmony, you're going to have to flow with this change and try to get yourself out of this energy, or at least the negative connotations of this energy. Like, I do feel like it's important to save your money at this time and not spend with both hands. But at the same sense, like, if you need to buy a new pair of shorts, then buy a new pair of shorts. You know, there's a difference between saving your money versus being stingy with it, okay, or being miserly with it, or cheap. Okay, so let's look more into this change, see what the cards have to say. I do feel like this has to do with money, though. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. So, make sure another card did not flip over. So, it's possible for some of you that this change, this Queen of Pentacles energy that you're walking into, excuse me, let me back that up. So what I was trying to say is that it is possible that some of you are walking into this Queen of Pentacles energy, and that is the change that you're experiencing, okay? That is the emotional fulfillment that you're walking into, is being in this position of the Queen of Pentacles, which, you know, the Queen of Pentacles energy is the closest thing that you can get to Empress energy in my mind. She's very grounded. Okay? So that's what this is telling me, is that you are walking into some type of emotional fulfillment and abundance this particular season. And for some of you, this is as a result, however, of you being in this energy of staying in this miser energy, or I should say the positive connotations of the miser energy, which is being very specific with how you're budgeting your money, how you're spending your money, okay? That's allowing you to step into this emotional fulfillment and grounded energy, all right? So I don't feel the need to use the Kipper or the Lenormand to further clarify. I think this is pretty clear cut as to what's going on. There's massive changes coming. The changes are coming as a result of things that you've done, of following the guidance that you were supposed to. If you are in this scenario of trying to, I would even say overextending yourself to save someone, that's energy you need to back off of, because you're coming through as this Captain Save-A-Ho energy versus a mentoring energy, and there is a difference, okay? Harmony is the goal, and in order to get harmony, this is the one hang up, I feel like, that you need to work through this Taurus season. Outside of that, I do feel like you have success coming, okay? You have emotional fulfillment coming. There's something about finances that are going to be evening out. And again, it's because you took the initiative early on and were very careful as to how you were managing your money. So let's go ahead and look at, oh my gosh, excuse me. The message for this season, and it says flip it upside down, question your beliefs. So again, this is coming back to this energy of like projection, okay? Something that you've been thinking, something in the way that you've been pursuing, your understanding of whether it's the role of money in your life or the role of a specific job or people in your life. There's something that's what's messing with your ability to maintain harmony in your life, okay? That is in part the massive amount of effort that you need to make in order to get to this Queen of Pentacles, in order to get to this emotional fulfillment, okay? So, your lesson for Taurus season, mutable signs, is trust. Okay, so it says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Again, this is listening to that inner voice, that wisdom. It's listening to the guides that are directing you right now. I always see this as like a guardian angel, even though this technically is supposed to represents like group work. in traditional decks. For whatever reason, whenever I get this card, or most often when I get this card, it feels like divinely guided energy. So it's like there's you, and there may be someone else who is the trigger to your, your situation. And what's leading you through how to get through that situation is your guide, your angel, your ancestors, pick whoever it is. But this is someone who's very, very prominent, okay? I would say this is like a specific high level, high energy guide that you are working with right now on the spiritual realm. And you may not even have realized that was the case. You'll get your cues, your synchronicities, if you will, that's what's going on, whether that be through feathers, specifically feathers, yellow feathers, golden feathers, or green feathers, okay? And there's a certain truth that they are trying to communicate to you, okay? So trust the process, trust what you're getting, trust your intuition. That's what this card is saying. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and call it here. I think this is pretty clear cut for y'all. But with that said, of course, I've got much gratitude for you. I hope you have a wonderful Taurus season despite everything that's going on. Please keep yourself safe. Keep your family safe. And as always, remember,